The Universal Orlando Resorts Universal Studios Orlando is not a very good park. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I said it. I don't really like this park. And it's really sad because this is supposed to be like the main park, the Magic Kingdom of the Universal Parks in Orlando, but it's just not. Now, I do prefer Disney to Universal, but I'm still not a Universal hater. In fact, Islands of Adventure is my third favorite park in Florida. Yeah, that sounds about right. But I don't think Universal Studios even cracks my top 10. I've been there a couple of times, but today I'm going to walk you through my most recent visit because that's the only one I really remember. Keep in mind that this was pre-COVID, so a lot of things from a park operational standpoint are going to be different. But the rides won't change, so let's start our review with some Harry Potter. First, we went to Escape from Gringotts, and this was about a 45-minute wait. Now, this was a really bad sign. We went straight to Gringotts at rope drop, and there was still a long wait. The operations at this park are just terrible. I know it's Universal, so they're still better than, say, your average Six Flags or Cedar Fair park, but I've even seen better operations at a SeaWorld park than that visit to Studios. Every line that day was at the bare minimum a 45-minute wait. Oh, except Fast and Furious, but we'll get to that. Now, in the morning, the ops were alright. We waited for a while, but it was fine. This is mostly because of the superb theming in Diagon Alley and Escape from Gringotts. It's really annoying talking about Universal because they could be so good if they tried as hard as they did for Harry Potter for everything else. But no, instead we're stuck with a dumb screen ride everywhere. But again, we'll get to that. Honestly, I don't really feel comfortable calling this a full-on coaster though. It's more of a glorified dark ride, and people who've ridden it knows exactly what I mean. There really aren't that many thrilling parts to the ride, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't know. I just don't think calling it a coaster, even maybe a family coaster, is really appropriate. But anyways, Gringotts was pretty good. Next, we went to Men in Black. Now guys, I kid you not, this was an hour and a half wait. This is a prime example of the slow ops. This seemingly highish capacity line was one of the longest waits of the day. And here's the thing, I know I've been talking about the ops being bad, but it wasn't even that crowded. Like, yeah, if you had more people in the park, then maybe these kinds of waits would be fine. But no, it felt like a busy Six Flags park day. So the fact that we had to wait for over an hour and a half for Men in Black, I'm sorry, that is not normal. That is ridiculous. The ride wasn't even that good. Toy Story Mania is so much better. It's not even a competition for me. It was better than Justice League, I will give it that, but that's not a very high bar of praise. So we get out of Men in Black and it is already lunchtime. Fine. I don't even care. We ate lunch and I honestly don't even remember what it was. So then we went to The Simpsons. And as per usual with this park, it was an hour wait. I mean, what can I say about this? It feels like a janky Star Tours with The Simpsons. There's no creativity, no new technology or effects. It's literally the simplest and most basic ride system they could have used. You sit in this box that just moves around in the dark with a big screen in front of you. Like, you really couldn't have made the whole room move. You just had to do the bare minimum where the only thing that moves is the seats itself. The exterior and the Simpsons land as a whole is really well themed, but the ride just falls flat in his face. After Simpsons, we did the Rip Ride Rocket, and it was like an hour wait. Do I even need to say this? Going forward, just assume it's going to be an hour wait unless I tell you it wasn't. Now, this is probably the highlight of the day, not because it was a very good coaster, no, because it was a good experience. My entire family went on this with me, and it really opened my eyes to coasters. I've said before that this was my first big coaster, and that's true. It was. It wasn't a very good one, but it wasn't terrible. The onboard audio was cool, and even though it scared the living daylights out of me, I did like the vertical lift hill. The Rip Ride Rocket's alright. Not great, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. So then we did Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York. What a fantastic ride this was. Seriously, Universal, clone it and put it at all of your parks. It is incredible. But in all seriousness, I actually like this more than the Simpsons ride. How sad is that? I enjoyed a ride themed to Jimmy Fallon racing through New York more than a ride themed to the beloved Simpsons. But it's still not good. It's just another basic simulator. This time the whole room does move, unlike the Simpsons, which is probably the only reason I like it more. I don't know, I was kind of just getting burnt out of these screen rides at this point. Next, we did Transformers. Now, I had heard that this was basically Spider-Man, but I thought there would be a bit more of a difference besides just the theme, but no. Universal basically just copy and pasted it and then changed the layout a bit. I'm so shocked at how little effort Universal actually put in to make it different. They used the same effects, same ride system, and same overall feel of the ride. It felt just like Spider-Man. And I much prefer Spider-Man as an IP to Transformers, and I don't really like Transformers, so I don't know, it just wasn't really that great. So now we've arrived at a ride so bad that Universal had to shut it down after only 1 year of operation. Now we all know this ride is bad. I'm not going to rip into it super aggressively because we know it's bad. This ride is Fast and Furious. There's really just not a whole lot to say here. It's just bad and boring. I'd say the best part of the ride is the queue, not the pre-show, definitely not the ride, no, the queue. We actually thought it was a walkthrough attraction because of how elaborately themed the queue was. Now for most of the day, the biggest problem was the bad ops and long lines, but Fast and Furious was a ghost town. But I'm being honest, guys, when I say this is probably one of the best and most elaborately themed queue lines in the Universal Resort. This queue line was so good that it tricked us into thinking that this ride might be good, until we realized that we might not even ever get to the ride. This is my only complaint with the queue line. It's so long. Only God knows how long we were in that queue line. It feels like it goes on forever. By the time you get to the pre-show, I was doubting there would even be a ride at all. And the pre-show has this live cast member talking with guests as they answer a call from a member of the Fast and Furious themselves. I don't remember who it was. I don't know. I don't really follow Fast and Furious. But guys, this is just the cringiest thing I've seen in an amusement park. I don't like to use that word, but it's probably the best way of describing it. So then you get on the ride and you're in this bus thing. And hey guys, this bus is just a big metal box simulator. Sound familiar? This ride is also really short, like alarmingly short. Like we were probably walking through that empty queue line for longer than we were on the ride. So yeah, this ride is garbage. It is just terrible. After that, we ate dinner and it was all right. I don't remember exactly what I ate, but I do remember thinking it was meh. So then we went to the best ride of the park, Revenge of the Mummy. I really wish I rode this more than once, because this was far and away the best ride in the park. No competition. In fact, I'd probably go as far to say as this is the best fully indoor coaster ever. I know not everyone may agree with me on that, but I really liked this ride. It had great theming, a great launch, great coaster sections. I even believe there was fire on it, but don't quote me on that. And lastly, we did Gringotts again, which concluded our day at Universal Studios Orlando. And even though it was the last ride of the day, and the park wasn't even crowded anymore, it was still a 50-minute wait. Personally, I've had enough of Universal screen rides, meh coasters, good franchises with bad rides, terrible operations, and other stuff that I don't like about this park. The Mummy and Diagon Alley are really this park's only saving grace, but even that can't make up for the rest. So I'm going to give Universal Studios Orlando a 5 out of 10, and even that might be a little generous.